If only you guys knew what I have been through over the past 2 days. First, I need to apologize as it is insanely late that this video is coming out. It is Friday. Our servers came up on Wednesday. But if you are watching this video, we are back. I wanted to do a just quick overview of some of the information that we have from the most recent update. Again, I know this is super late. Most of you guys have already played most of this stuff, but there are people out there that do rely on my update videos. So I want to go ahead and at least just go over things, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on what I'm seeing, kind of my thoughts and opinions on what we got released, and what the plans are moving forward, as well as like a bit of an announcement that, hey, I'm back up and running again. But before we jump out of new here, as always, I'm Chrono. I primarily cover PSO2 content. Would much appreciate a subscribe as we're working towards that 10K mark. We have been speedrunning that recently with all of the Crystal of Atlan stuff that's been going on. I know. I have not forgotten about my PSO2 brothers out there. We are still going to be pushing PSO2 content. It's just we have, Crystal of Atlan as well. So playing a little bit of both. And then, of course, when Star Resonance comes out, we'll mess around with that too. Either way, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So if this is your first video of mine, what a video to come in on. But in case you're wondering yourself, why would I sit here and listen to this guy read me information I could just very well get myself? You're absolutely correct. Head over to ngs.pso2.com or scroll down the video description. You'll find links to everything that we plan to cover there. Anything with a little red dot usually happens to be the important stuff. All I ask is that you like the video at the very least. It does help me out. All right, start things off. We're going to jump directly into the update info. So we have the new mini episode that's released. So after defeating Vile, Halpha is enjoying a moment of peace. This episode depicts the feelings of your comrades as they reckon with the past and prepare for the future. Now, I feel like some people are a bit misinformed as to what the whole purpose of this actually was. This is just a mini episode. We had these previously that were kind of scattered across the map. A while back during one of the headlines, they mentioned that they were going to be removing them scattered across the map and then implementing them as in-between portions of the story, slowly ramping them up more and more to kind of fill out the story gaps themselves, as well as give you kind of like a linear path to understanding the different stories and what happened before when and so on and so forth. Basically to kind of fill out those gaps a bit more. And this is the first start of that. Some people got this as this was the start of the next story, and that is not at all what this is supposed to be. So for a lot of people, this came out as very weak, and it's intentional. It is pretty weak when you have that mindset involved. This is just supposed to be a little in-between storyline about what's going on with some people. That's pretty much it. Don't blame you guys for thinking that way, but just be aware that this is what these are. These are mini episodes. They'll be labeled as such. You'll have other major episodes releases, but we don't have one of those scheduled until later this year. I think it's gonna be the second half of the year overall. We have the limited time urgent quest Shadow of the Fallen Star. Funny enough, I've heard a lot of people talk about how this urgent quest has more relevance to the story than the mini episode. Again, by design, this is supposed to be a more story filled urgent quest. The limited time urgent quest has to do with the Crimson Realm. I really believe the Crimson Realm situation is it's spilling over from the Starless Realm, as that's what the Crimson Realm is supposed to be, I think. Granted, I haven't done it just yet. I've been in absolute hell rebuilding my streaming / recording PC. So yeah, apologies on that one. That's done now, but either way, I've heard a lot of great things about this and how great it actually is. So I'm looking forward to running it when I get myself online. We have the limited time quest Citadel in the Forest. Now we've had this beforehand, but this is going to be with different enemies and different mechanics. I believe the first time this came around is when the whole flower situation started becoming very popular, where you get to detonate flowers and explodes and does a bunch of damage to a bunch of enemies. But this has come back around. They mentioned it's going to change as well on the 11th of June, but this one does have titles and tasks. So keep that in mind as moving forward. We are level 105 now. So, ooh, surprise Pikachu face. We have gone over level 100. It's actually very common in the Phantasy Star franchise to go up to level 200. A lot of people were surprised. They're like, oh no, already level 100. That's all PSO2 had. So are we done? No, not at all. We'll be marching our way towards level 200, if not higher in some cases, or even in some situations, Phantasy Star games have had rebirth systems. So you never know what could happen in the future. Just keep that in mind moving forward. We also have the enhancement caps raising up to level 100 for our weapons as well as our armor, bringing the affix augment slots up to the maximum of 8. This is usually the end point of what we usually see for gear. And we now have all 8 slots. Now this usually is the case for a very, very long time once we have all 8 slots. So I don't foresee it going any higher than this. Maybe implementing a new system to add something else to it or mess around with some of the slots. We'll have to see. In the past, they did something like S augment slots. So I'm not sure what they'll do this time around if they decide to go past this 8 augment slot situation. And to be clear, S augment slots replaced the regular augment section, so it never really went over 8. We have the new Pogger armor. Now, this is something we're going to talk about a little bit later, but it's 7% weapon potency, pretty solid set of armor. I'm not sure how expensive it is at the moment or how much it's dropping at the moment, but definitely our new set of armor. We have the Ultia Dominas. These apparently are very expensive right now. Not sure how the drop rates are doing, but again, they'll level themselves out. Just give it time. It's made up of all of the Dominas plus a new item called Joindia. So 50 Joindia plus all the Dominas, 10 each will get you one of these Ultia Dominas. We do have some new line strike cards being added. I do love they keep doing this. They keep adding more line strike cards, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but this is the type of content we need to keep in game for people to have in between time. All the people that are, you know, really chomping at the bit to see something like the casinos come back. Unfortunately, due to laws around the world, we're not going to see casinos again, unfortunately, when it comes to global at the very least. I highly doubt they're going to put it in JP and not put it in global, so we'll likely see something else eventually. But these pieces of content are really cool to see, so I'm glad they're actually adding this in. It looks like these cards are centered around Phantasy Star Universe, as well as Phantasy Star Portable and Portable to Infinity. So I recognize these characters. Hopefully, you know, there's people out there that recognize them as well that are actually excited for these characters, and then talk about the different skills those characters have. We also have a new, what is it? Oh yeah, new stuff being added to the lineup. So yeah, pretty dope stuff here. New beginner friendly deck featuring the 5th wave cards have been added to the AC shop, and all ship matchmaking was added for unranked battles. So this is making queues pop a lot more often for people to do during their downtime. A new face added in, anime face. Maybe I'll have the person who made my face for my PSO2 character actually work on a face using this instead. We'll see if anything better comes out of it. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. And then of course is during the use the salon to your heart's content campaign, so it makes it much easier for you to go ahead and go in and edit and not have to worry about having a salon pass. But I don't know people who don't have a salon pass that are playing consistently, so I guess if you're new, right? If you're new, then it's probably a bit more difficult for you. Various improvements and new features. These are a lot of quality of life enhancements. So we have the new toggle feature for the new icon. That's nice. Get that out of the way. They made significant upgrades and improvements to the wanted list. You can actually see it now in game. You can add things like EX augment combinations. This says register up to 3 EX augments, but it's EX augment combinations, which I do like that a lot. And there's a special animation that will show up when you get something that you wanted off your wanted list when it drops. So that's pretty dope. Easy photo mode will have values added in, so it'll be easier for you to either replicate a angle from the past, or maybe set it up for a friend or something like that. They're adding more build parts to creative space, including the ore weapon series, curry rice, silver tray, standing lantern, and more. Unfortunately, the more they add these weapon series, the less I feel like they're going to add in the weapon displays. So fingers crossed they eventually come around to it, Sega. I hope you guys decide to, but hey, at the very least, we do have these weapon series that are being added in for the build parts. Reward details display to check the details of quest rewards and featured items. This was a bit of an L. I got a chance to look at this in game. Unfortunately, this just shows you the clear rewards, which you can already see from the quest itself. So I was hoping this would show you like everything that could possibly drop, like from the regular rewards outside of the featured items. That doesn't seem to be what that is. Hopefully they change this or update this, because that's a little bit of a disappointment. Tasks are now categorized under limited tasks. So you can see what's important to get taken care of very early on and first. So you have the campaigns, contents, things like that. They're no longer mixed into the weekly limited tasks. We're adding 11 to 13 star ready weapons and 11 to 12 star ready armors to auto sale options. So basically they're updating the auto sale with more customization. We'll put it that way. And they're also adding in the search by series function, which just you add a question mark to the end of a series name. I'm not the biggest fan of them using Prim Sword specifically here, because the whole idea is that you're able to search an entire weapon series, but you could just type in Prim question mark and get the entire set of Prim weapons, or whatever happens to be, maybe Legendios question mark, and then you happen to find the entire series of Legendios. That's how the whole question mark situation is supposed to work. You've got the new Sonic collab here. The new Sonic collab, a little bit of an L on this one, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. Login rewards are pretty dope. Got a lot of standees. I'd like to see that. The AC scratch ticket, Sonic style heroine, so it is all female characters, which we did expect that. That's totally fine. It literally says heroine, so not a big deal. And we've got the Sonic outfit, Shadow outfit, and Tails outfit on Aina, Manon, and Nadara respectively, as well as movement items like Shadow's Doomwing power stuff. Now, I was a little bit sad, and I will say this is a little bit of an L. There's a couple things that are a little bit of an L in my opinion. One is they kind of missed the opportunity to animate the Doomwing, like the surf thing that Shadow does from the game. I'm not sure why they opted to just use wings. I mean, wings is kind of the easier option in this situation, and it kind of fits the overall vibe of all of the motions. But I feel like it would have been really cool for them to just, factor in that. I mean, granted, they probably wanted to stick with just the wings, so it's everything was wings. It's like the idle, the motion, the movement, all this stuff is wings related, even the jump. But I think it would have been cool if they actually did the other one, like the actual surfing swim thing that he does. I don't know the actual name of it. I still have to play Shadow Generations. Don't bully me. Cards, stamps. I was a little sad about this too. This is actually 3 L's, not 2. This is another L. This is not a mag. This is just an accessory. This should have been a mag. There's a Tails mag. There's a Sonic mag. Why is that not a Shadow mag? Definitely should have been an A mag, not an accessory. So we can see here, we actually see, we look at the scratch, floating shadow, not a mag. But we see the outfits here. Unfortunately, they did decide to keep type 1 with type 2 shoes, which look really, really bad. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You've got things like Sonic Idol. You have motion, Doomwing Idol, Doomwing Move, Doomwing Dash, Doomwing Glide, Jump, Swim, and Landing. So like they wanted to make everything about the Doomwing, understandably so, but I wish they kind of went something different with the swim portion of it. Like he has an animation uses in the game. Should have been used for this here. It would have been fantastic. And then again, Floating Shadow should have been the mag. Not sure why they opted not to do that, but it is what it is, not the end of the world. There are vital gauges, so that's super sick. And a lot of everything else, honestly, is pretty dope, all things considered. Even when they put in some filler in here, they at least put in type 2 filler, because at least it's going to be worth something. I mean, these probably aren't going to be worth very much. These aren't going to be worth very much, but like, hey, these usually are. So if you happen to be pulling, you are weighted pretty heavily in the positive side of things, unless, you know, you happen to not luck out and you get some of this stuff. They are changing what the premium set icon looks like. It's black and gold now. I think it looks cool. That's basically it. They showed off the, there's some campaigns right now for the new face. Basically, it's a bunch of money. So if you do the limited time urgent quest, pass parts and money in SG. Now it's also, you know, letting you know, hey, look, these are pre-scheduled, so you can tell exactly when they're going to be coming. And of course, the little pink box tells you if there's a concert beforehand. So if you're someone who farms Meseta, you can, you know, go for the concert and then start farming your Meseta afterwards. We have Citadel in the Forest, which is more Meseta, more SG, and then the more avatar items. And then of course we have the clear special training Sonic Sprint or Special Sonic Sprint to a total of 1.4 million in Meseta, more star gems as well as avatar items. So the most money they're giving out, 1.4 mil. Overall, it looks like we're going to be getting what, 2.4 mil overall. Pretty dope. And of course, farm efficiently, weaken enemy campaign. Enemies are going to have reduced HP during this time frame, which is much later, not right now, but it's just to keep an eye on. And of course, we have the current AC deals as far as like what's worth grabbing in here. Just taking a quick look. If you're going to get premium, I guess this is really solid actually for premium. 30 days for like what, $5 cheaper usually than it is. So that's actually pretty dope. This, I mean, the hairstyle, okay. I wouldn't really spend on either one of these. This is actually the only thing that'd be worth spending on, and that's pretty much it. And of course, the account suspensions, 33 cases, no RMT included this time around. Dedge game, no bots, no. They've just been so heavy on like things that would, you know, make things easier for bots, and that they've also kind of punished the player base in a sense, but it has eradicated their bot problem for the most part. So it's not really worth farming or putting their time into it in most situations. Not only they get banned, but the money isn't worth a whole lot in the first place since it's so easily farmable. But it is what it is. Either way, could be good, could be bad. It depends on how your perspective of it. But we're gonna go ahead and hop in a game and take a look around really quick and make sure we haven't missed anything. All right, here we are in game. I've gotten some of these things as I tried to record this video so many times before this when I was having all those problems, but it is what it is. If we can take a look at the scratch. So there's a little bit, again, a little bit of an L here as far as I'm concerned with the actual scratch. We can see the Sonic outfit here. It's all right. It's a little awkward whenever you toggle some stuff off. You can toggle off the top piece, and if you toggle the bottom piece off, oh look, it toggles off the shoes, right? Pretty dope actually. You can put on the soap shoes if you want to, or whatever else it happens to be. And I think it's actually really, really cool that you're able to do that. So, well, here's the problem. Here's the shadow set, right? Like it's not bad looking, I don't think, honestly. Like it looks okay. I'm not a big fan of the shoes, right? But oh, if I toggle off second spot, it toggles off the leg thing. If I toggle off the first one, it gets rid of the sleeves, meaning you can't toggle off the shoes. We already have a good pair of shoes that I could substitute in for shadow shoes, even if they hadn't give them to us, which, by the way, no shadow shoes in the accessories, also an L. But we had a good pair of shoes that we could substitute in. I believe they were like the active or activated shoes or something like that. Like they're a really good pair of shoes we could use as like pseudo shadow shoes if we could just toggle these off, because they're extraordinarily feminine. I don't have anything against people who like heels. It's totally fine, but it's just not my look. And it kind of sucks that they decided to give the Sonic version of these more flexibility in a scratch that was so heavily shadow favored, right? Like I actually didn't even look at the Tails one yet to see if it toggles off the shoes, which it doesn't. It looks like it was just the Sonic one that got the extra features there, which is kind of lame. I'm not a big fan of that. I really am kind of sad they decided to go that route with this outfit because it makes it more or less pointless for me to even pick up. I'm not going to be grabbing it. Well, I'll grab it. I'm just not going to be using it for anything. I'm not going to be able to, like, unless I can find a way to like do something about these shoes. It's just not going to be something I enjoy the look of, unfortunately. So it is what it is. I'm not going to harp on it too terribly long. The idols are freaking awesome. Idols are fantastic. The Doomwing idol, which is super, super cool. Okay, almost. I don't like the pose. Okay, this pose right here, unnecessary. I kind of wish they did something a little different. I know it's Shadow's pose, but like, it's a little bit aggressive, honestly, in my opinion. Everything else is really cool. The move, the dash, of course, the glide, the jump is sick. The swim, again, was a bit of an L in my opinion. And the landing. All of those are really, really cool. They're really, really good. I'm a big fan of all of that, honestly. So, and then of course there's a Doomwing accessory. And then of course we have things like stamps and, you know, backgrounds for your ARCs card and all the good stuff. Like all that stuff is really, really cool. So I am a fan of everything else they put in here. It's just, you know, there's a couple of things that kind of they just kind of suck, you know, don't really feel that great to use. So it is what it is. I did hear, yeah, looks like we did get some new Epith gear. So light attack, okay. I mean, from what I understand, these are probably still terrible. They are level 100, so cool. People will still be able to get into content, it looks like. But I mean, like, it's Mastery G is a decision. I guess this is interesting. Triple G and Mastery G. But yeah, like it's far too, it pushes it far too forward. And taking a look at the new thing added in for, let's take a look at Citadel real quick. The drop table stuff, you can see clear reward. It just shows you what you'd get for clearing. Like that's no one cares. You can find literally that exact same information right here. Like the clear rewards, you're told at the very beginning of each quest. So you don't really need this specifically here. And then of course you have the featured item drops. Again, I would really hope that this instead was something like maybe just the drop list in general. That would have been a fantastic place to put something like that. But unfortunately that is a bit of an L. If we do take a look, I believe it is nope, it's here, personal. Yeah, wanted items list. So you have the wanted items list has been expanded on. You have the ability to now look at your wanted items. There is more of them available. You also have a section for EX augments. Like I said, this is an EX augment set, so you can line up a full set. So like, let's say for example, we take our weapon. Actually, I'm gonna go for my inventory. I was farming last time I was online, so don't mind me, I am on Waker. So let's say we take our set here and then we click on, I don't know, we want turnover and we click here. So we can add this, maintain balance, shortage HP. Oh, I added it to the wrong set. Hold on. So there we go. So now if I go take a look, I go to personal and I go to wanted list, I can see the three of these together are on a set. If I go here, I accidentally added this to here. I can go to remove it. We're good there. But you can see if I happen to get this set as a drop, well, it'll notify me with that little special thing that we saw earlier, which is really, really cool. Means it's gonna be a lot easier for us to farm good EX augment combinations. I'll be honest with you, I kind of want more than just the 3. I wish we had access to maybe like 5, because there are about 5, maybe 4 or 5 really good EX augment combinations that you want to be aware of as soon as they drop, that you really don't have to think about it. It pulls out some of the guesswork of some of the tedium of looking through every single one of your EX augment combinations. At least with this system, you'll be able to know for sure if something really, really good drops and you won't miss it. So you'll be notified of it when that pops up. Other than that, we pretty much went over everything else that was kind of relevant. And then there is an urgent quest that is live right now over in Retem, as you can see here, which is the Shadow of the Fallen Star. And again, reminder, the drop thing is just a little weird. We can see our armor that's available here. So the Prager armor, Legend Dios weapons, Tuav Almaty. We also have the chance of getting the Joindia. It looks like they showed Giga Trial here, but they don't show that you can get the combined augment. So they might have actually changed things up. I would have assumed that the combined augment would have been able to drop from here. Let me double check here really quick. I know I'm going a little all over the place here on this one because we have a lot to do. Yeah, so Joindia does drop here, which is good. Grand Gladius drops here too. But it looks like the Dominas may drop, but the combined augment doesn't look like it does, which that would be a first. Normally they have these drop, the combined augment drop. It's possible it could just not be on the drop table for some reason, which is why I kind of wish this was just everything. But again, it teaches their own, I suppose. It's up to them how they decide to go about it. But that's about it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything on my end. If there's anything I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe when you keep up with more. As always, thank you to the channel members. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate every single one of you guys. we are back up and running, so do look forward to seeing streams. I'm probably going to do something small today for Crystal of Atlan, and then tomorrow probably jump in, hit the ground running with some farming in PSO2, as I am incredibly exhausted since I have been up all night and still haven't slept. So either way, take care, my friends. Peace out. Oh, and to placate my editor, apparently the servers are running like buns. So guess I haven't missed out on much.